What's going on, guys? Eric Turner from Cover One. Today, I want to take a quick look at Jartavius Quan Martin, defensive back from Illinois, a guy that the Bills should be high on in this draft. I know I am. He's a top 3 player when it comes to favorite players in this draft, projected to go to the Bills. He's an archetype fit across the board when you look at all of his measurables. He can play safety, he could play slot corner, he could play boundary corner. Listen to some of these numbers courtesy of Pro Football Focus. Last season, he had 493 snaps from the slot, which was primarily where he played. He had 177 snaps as a free safety, a lot of times as that single high post safety in the Illinois defense. He was in the box 44 snaps. And then finally, he had 75 snaps as a boundary corner. So you can use him all over the field. And I think that is the next level when it comes to the Bills defense. Not just disguising the coverage on the back end with your safeties, but disguising and combining the safety and nickel positions, almost making it a hybrid type player, something that Brandon Beane talked about in his presser a couple weeks ago. So I picked 3 plays from the same game, all back to back to back, to show you what I mean by combining the positions of safety and nickel, but also how they can use him to disguise the coverages, and then his traits and how they translate into this type of system, into this style defense. So without further ado, let's jump into the film. All right, here's the first play of this 3-play sequence against Wisconsin. So you have Martin right here in the slot, and you can see that most of the defense are all showing man coverage. They're all in man posture, eyes on their men, and post snap, watch what happens against this 3-by-1 set. As a ball is snapped, you're going to have Martin drop out into the deep half, and you see it becomes a cover 2 defense. So while it looks like man coverage to start and Martin is the slot defender there, he actually drops out into a deep half player, and you can see he's got the athleticism to flip those hips and become that deep half player in a blink of an eye. What ends up happening, it confuses the quarterback, and he ends up holding it and taking the sack. So on the very next play, it's 2nd and 13. Once again, same type of look, right? Almost looks like man coverage across the board. Post snap, watch what Martin does. They run a little inbreaker. This guy's just coming across the middle. Now he's got some help over the middle. But this is what I love about Martin. You can see he's very good in that contact box, that 5-yard box as that route is breaking off, especially when teams want to run that quick game. You see him get his hands on that wide receiver, disrupt that route, and then undercut it. Look at this from the end zone angle. He's got a little feistiness to his game. Here he comes across the middle, and as I said, he's disruptive in that 5-yard contact box. But then watch right here. You see him in trail, but watch him use his hands to almost slingshot himself in front of the receiver to undercut that. That's the type of athleticism he has. He can disrupt in that contact box, but then use his speed and hands to put himself in position to contest this pass over the middle. And that's what the Bills defense is all about. They're all about eliminating passes over the middle, and Martin will help them do that. So on the very next play, so 3rd down and long, this time Wisconsin tries pushing the ball down the field. Look at the coverage. Looks exactly the same. Man coverage across the board. Are they going to drop out into zone? Are they going to stay in man coverage? What are they going to do here? Martin is, again, in the slot, same spot, number 2. Watch what he does. Instead of dropping out into the deep half, they keep it man coverage, just like the last play. So it's man coverage, but what Wisconsin's trying to do is running the deep over route. Well, guess what? Martin is athletic enough to undercut that as well. Again, helping to defend the middle of the field, helping to disguise the coverage. As you can see, these 3 plays were all in sequence, and the coverage looked exactly the same pre-snap, but post-snap, they changed it up 3 different times. And Wisconsin tried running 3 different types of plays, but Martin and the Illinois defense shut it down. Martin will be a target for the Bills for their safety position, but a player that can unlock the Bills defense and take their ability to disguise coverages to that next level.